What are options? Many individuals take out car insurance. Do you? Well, why would you do that? It's most likely because you are uncertain about a future unfavorable event. What do I mean to say? Well, you don't know if you're going to bump into a tree or something may happen that your car loses value. Insurance is the contract by which, if that unfavorable event takes place, well, then you're going to get a defined cash payout to reimburse you of any losses that take place. Now, of course, if you're asking for this rights against the insurer at a future time, if the event takes place, well, it doesn't come for free. And you have to pay a premium upfront to this insurer. Now, this is really what the world of options is about, and they're often compared to insurance. They are the instruments that are used to protect against uncertainty in the future, and they involve the payment of a premium for the purchasing of rights. Let's start taking a look at these options in a little bit more detail to understand it better. First of all, there are two types of options that we need to be aware of. The first is a call option. This is the option that if you are the buyer and holding this option, you have the right to purchase the underlying instrument or asset at the future date. The put option, this is if you are holding a put option, you have the rights to sell the underlying asset or instrument at a future date. There's other terms and jargon that we need to associate and understand better around options. Let's have a look at each one. Well, we all already have been introduced to the concept that any contract that gives you rights in the future is going to require a premium payment up front. Strike price. This is the rate at which you want the rights to be traded at. If you've bought a call option, you will say at which rate you want the rights to exercise. We call this in options the strike price. What about expiration or exercise date and delivery date? Now, in forwards, we really just spoke about doing a contract today for a future delivery date. And the rate, not the strike, the forward rate, was unknown throughout. Now, in options, you have rights to exercise at a strike price. And we talk about this being your exercise or expiration date. This typically falls due within the spot period of delivery, or 2 business days before physical settlement or cash settlement is going to take place. This brings us to the fact that actually options can have different exercise periods. And we talk about an American or a European style option. An American style option is one that gives you the rights to exercise at any time from contract date up until expiration or exercise date. Compare this to the European style, and probably the more traditional of options to be priced, is where you buy these rights today and you can only exercise on that one expiration date 2 business days before delivery date. So let's start getting a bit closer to the options now that we know the terminology, and look at the payoff profiles for both a call and a put. These graphs indicate at maturity, you had bought a call option with a strike price of 100. Let's look what would take place on exercise date. Well, you'd want to know where the spot rate is to compare to your strike price before you decide to exercise or not. In a call, if the spot or cash market on exercise date is above your strike, you're going to obviously exercise. You'd much rather buy the underlying asset at your cheaper strike. What happens if the spot ends below your strike? Well, then you're more likely to walk away from your rights at 100 to purchase at, well, obviously the better current spot rate. Let's do this same process now for a put option. When will you exercise a put option if you've bought it at 100? Well, not if the spot at exercise date is higher. If you've bought a put option, you have the rights to sell at your strike. You will not exercise at 100 if the current cash market is better than that. You will, however, exercise your rights to sell at 100 if on exercise date the cash market is below your strike rate. This has been a procedure to get us closer and understand better these options. I hope you've enjoyed.